Well, this project we're on at the moment is a leisure centre, which we're moving away from the traditional gas central heating to a low carbon option. We've actually installed some air source heat pumps here, which are behind me. You can see the condensers, which are twin condensers, which actually go down and serve some hydro boxes down in the corridor below. You can also see there's some solar thermal panels, which are on the walls, which actually feed the heating for the pool area. Done some PV panels on this project, so even though it's not part of this heating and ventilation work stream, it's generating the power to the leisure centre.
So this work stream includes the heating and ventilation to a commercial building, which incorporates air source heat pumps and also configures a solar thermal, especially for this building, which provides free energy to the pool, keeping that warm and at a temperature. The system was an old gas type system with 600 kilowatt. Also incorporated a 250 kilowatt water heater, all run off of fossil fuel gas. So the project was to decarbonise the whole building, in which we've removed all the gas and the whole building is now sustainable. The ventilation itself, we incorporated air handling units, which also provides internal heating, but also purifies the air, keeping it at a constant temperature again, keeping humidity away, which is a vital part of inside the pool area, and keeping the air quality clean. We've incorporated a building management system, which is like the brain for it. So this will actually run everything within its temperatures. It's AI-led, so it'll learn the building over a 12-month period, in which becomes more energy efficient as time progresses. Public sector bodies are facing real challenges to try and decarbonise within a short period of time, whilst trying to keep it within budget and obviously keeping buildings and properties operational. Clients can address this by using sustainable energy solutions incorporating smart controls. On domestic premises is a very small version of a commercial property. As we know, most domestic properties now are fossil fuel led, gas, oil. The aim is to then decarbonise these properties, especially retrofit, by installing air source heat pumps, solar thermal if required. There's also ground source heat pumps. These will then turn the property into a more affordable, sustainable energy solution for the resident and for the landlord. So any multiple dwellings, they will go down the route of what we call a network system, which will incorporate an energy centre which would feed a very small area, branching out to low-rise, even high-rise buildings, supplying the same sort of energy again, but all being fed from one central point. A bit like the commercial building, bit of stealing and supplying domestic homes. Well, as we've recently learned with AWAB's law, ventilation plays a vital part within any property. Even though we all have this perception that, you know, if we can close all windows and seal all doors, we can keep the heat in, it doesn't necessarily work like that. There is an element of ventilation to circulate the heat around the building, as much as coming in as also going out. If you was to keep a door closed with a bathroom fan going, it can only draw the air out of that room, which will then draw in moisture. So you need a through-way ventilation, putting vents in doors and windows, even though, like you say, there's a perception that you're letting cold air in, you're not. You're ventilating that property, which keeps air quality pure. So the first things that you need to look at as a client is whether it is feasible to fit sustainable energy within the property. As we say, urban areas, built-up areas, these are sort of a bit of a challenge to try and get renewable energy in these, especially on high-rise blocks and places of graded buildings, etc. After that, we can look at the type of system we can put in. As I said before, there's a few types. You can have air source, you can have ground source. It's the best sort of system to put in that property at a time. Also within the property, you want to look at its sort of insulation properties, whether it can be insulated, whether it's got insulation. These are all sort of elements we need to look at before we decide the type of system we're going to put in the property. So once we've got the system installed and it's fully commissioned, there is very little maintenance, as you would a gas system, which requires a 12-month service. The renewable side and the sustainable side of energy is basically, we recommend probably every 2 years. You can look at it every 12 months, but I say it's a sort of forget and forget sort of system. Once it's running, it takes care of itself. The end user benefits, obviously on the bills, lower cost. If landlords, you know, their maintenance schedules go down lower. Even though initial outlay might be more, over the long period of time, this is sustainable energy. It's not going to run out. Unlike fossil fuels, as we all know, they're getting lower and lower. But for the end user, it's a fit and forget. You can switch on, and their bills are just low. Just keeps their bills nice and low. For the end user, this will give them better air quality, It will lower their carbon footprint, also give them a reduction in their energy bills and costs.